Yeah, all those people with clipboards. They're important. They're not just trying to look important. They are important.
Yeah, and I have to say, it even though I don't do events, I have been tempted to get one of your clipboards, Libby, with the pen that you put underneath. Like when you talked about that, I was like, ooh.
It is a power move.
Yeah.
I had a real bonding moment with somebody last year at an event when she opened up her like box of supplies and she brought out a clipboard like that. It was a different color. Hers was purple, I think, or something. And I was like, oh my gosh, I left mine at home. But don't you love that clipboard?
Welcome to Beats Working, Winning the Game of Events, where we share stories and strategies to turn any event or life moment into something unforgettable.
Events are wild, and the people who work in them are some of the most resilient humans on Earth. If you know, you know.
So come with us behind the curtain for a look at their most memorable experiences.
As they say, the show must go on, so let's get on with the show.
Welcome back to Beats Working, Winning the Game of Events. Today's episode is a little different and a little special because it's our final episode of the season and this chapter of the show.
Na 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 na. Hey, goodbye.
That's right. We're taking a few minutes to look back at what we've learned this season, share some of our favorite moments, and talk about what's next for Beats Working.
All right. I want to bring on our very VIP special guest who everybody should already know about, but if you don't, the person behind the curtain, the magic maker, the producer extraordinaire, Tamar Routly. Welcome to the final episode.
The crowd goes wild.
Oh my, I'm just so honored to be here with you two. I mean, not only do I get to listen to you record, but I get to edit your shows over and over. And literally over again.
So our jokes aren't funny anymore.
A little bit more.
Yeah.
I could have, but we wanted to keep it real.
Well, it was real.
Yeah, it was.
It was really something.
And just for our listeners, we probably have enough outtakes that we could give Libby her own podcast about how not to podcast.
Crinkling your wrappers. Stirring your ice in your drink right next to the mic.
These are things that Libby Sundgren did for the last year.
Yeah.
Yep.
And if you didn't hear it, that's because Tamar was doing her job and editing it out.
Okay, you've been behind the scenes for every single episode. Give me a moment from this season that really stuck with you.
Well, there were so many moments. I mean, if we're talking about more of the fun behind the curtain, I have to say Libby Bossy Pops. In one of her candy episodes, Libby was wielding a lollipop and started lecturing the guest with her lollipop.
I think she was lecturing me.
Was it you or was it Sheena? I think it was you. And then Sheena was just maybe collateral damage. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Poor Sheena.
Yeah. So we actually did turn that into a little clip. So I think those moments were definitely very memorable. And I don't think there was any episodes that didn't make me laugh. And I think just the guests that we had on, some of them, like Brian Hurley is one that sticks out, how he really spoke about the guys behind the scenes, right? When the people that nobody really gets to see that often and their role in, connecting a mic to someone who's famous maybe, and, they kind of get nervous about it and stuff. And, he's like, you need those people. Those people are what make the show. And so I just thought all the guests that you two lined up for the show, which most of these people you've worked with, the ins and outs of what they do. And I think that really, that showed in the episodes. But yeah, they didn't all, it wasn't all about them. It was about, a lot of it was about the people that they work with and the collaborations.
So here's what I'm curious about, Tamar, because you don't come from the events world like Libby and myself do. And so I'm curious what surprised you the most about the events world after producing the show, from all the different stories and all the different roles that you heard.
I think that there's so many things that go wrong in an event. that nobody actually sees, right? Because going to an event, I mean, there is the occasional thing where you can tell at a concert where maybe things didn't go right or something was missed because it was on the program and nothing happened. But like some of the examples that the guests gave about things going horribly wrong and then thinking that's it, like this is over, how much we don't see, right, as guests of that event, and how it just seems like even when it's imperfect to them, it's like, wow, this was a great event. Like people rave about it, right? And it just shows, I think, how passionate you guys are about the events that you put on, and that shows with the guests as well.
When you've gone to events since producing this podcast, did it make you look around events a little differently, perhaps?
I would say that's a hell yes. Because you just notice the people behind the scenes a little bit more, right? You're not just sitting there waiting for someone to walk on that stage or waiting for this display or waiting for something big to happen. You actually start to pay attention to all the other people who are walking around and making this happen and how much work they put into it.
Yeah, all those people with clipboards. They're important. They're not just trying to look important. They are important.
Yeah, and I have to say, it even though I don't do events, I have been tempted to get one of your clipboards, Libby, with the pen that you could put underneath.
Recommend.
Like when you talked about that, I was like, ooh.
It is a power move. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I had a real bonding moment with somebody last year at an event when she opened up her like box of supplies and she brought out a clipboard like that. It was a different color. Hers was purple, I think, or something. And I was like, oh my gosh, I left mine at home, but don't you love that clipboard? Mine's black. She was like, I tried to get the black. I could only get the purple. I was like, well, next time.
Okay, I've got to ask you, Libby, like you've got your black clipboard that you love, but if you were to retrofit a Libby Sundgren clipboard, would you make any changes to that one? And if so, what would they be? Like, would there be a drink holder in it for your Diet Coke? Like, if you could make anything, money not an option.
I know.
What would you do to upgrade a clipboard?
I'd put a built-in phone charger inside. So you could
Smart.
put your phone in, plug it in or whatever, cord out or no cord, I don't know, whatever. And I would maybe make it just like a smidge bigger, the holding space, because it's kind of like a box, that you can like open up and close. And like, you can put a lot of stuff in there, but if you get a bunch of paper and a Sharpie, it doesn't want to close because that's too thick. But the next size up for thickness is like too big. It's like an aggressive. It looks like an Amazon package. So maybe just like a smidge bigger holding space. Add a phone charger. I'd probably spill the drink if I had a drink holder on there. But I'd probably put in like, I don't know, $1 million or something.
What if the clipboard could have like a matching fanny pack? Like matching.
Oh yeah, that'd
matching.
be cute. Okay, yeah. Okay, well now we're talking. Okay, so what if there's...
I've been watching a lot of the Staples baddie on TikTok. Okay, I'm like really deep in with it. Do you guys know what the Staples baddie is?
I
just
don't
really
know.
quick.
No.
Okay.
Look it up.
Look it up. Staples baddie. But go ahead.
Okay, so you know the Staples baddie, but I see like kids things. So now they have this thing. It's like a hip pack thing you can wear if your kid wants you to carry them all the time, but they're older. They're not a baby, they're like toddler or like, heavy. Yeah. Like my son says, he goes, I'm a thick boy. I'm like, you are. So, but it's like a little cushion thing that's like a fanny pack, but it's a cushion and they can sit on it. Oh. So I think I would have a fanny pack combo that your clipboard can clip into so that it's just right in front of you. And then you can use both hands to do things. Or like, you probably wouldn't want it on the side because then your arm would hit it, but like in front of you, something you could rest it. You could hold it, fold it in close, and then you could reticulate it out to any kind of angle you wanted it so that you could write or do whatever. Oh, I actually think that would be amazing. You would look a little Inspector Gadgety, but I mean, that's the price you pay.
Yeah.
For event efficiency.
Okay, so those of you that are listening with your 3D printers, like, get to work. Let's go.
Yep.
Make me one. Okay.
Well, that was a tangent. See, this is what you guys are going to miss. You're going to miss these rabbit holes.
I know.
These event rabbit holes.
I know.
Okay, well, let's talk about the human side of events because that is what we love. We can sit here and obviously talk
We
about
love the
clipboards
peeps.
for days, but it's really the people because that's the heart of every event is the people, not only that make it happen, but the people that come and attend the event.
That's right, sister.
I didn't have more to say besides that. I was just trying to pass it off to one of you.
And so I'll take that. I'll take that lead there.
It wasn't the smoothest pass, I admit. It wasn't the smoothest.
No, it's almost like you dropped the baton, and Libby and I couldn't decide who was going to pick up the baton.
I dropped the clipboard. I dropped the clipboard.
You sure did.
But I would like to say, this is, you said community, and I think, the planning and organization of an event is very community based. Like, you can't do it by yourself. You've got all these team members, these people doing it with you. And a lot of people in the interviews have referenced that, like, putting it all together and all the hard work and the late nights and just it's a camaraderie. And I believe, Libby, you've talked about that too, being on site. But there's also that community that the event itself builds, right? Because if you think about it, these people that are, coming up with these event types, making them real, but then you're getting a bunch of people together to form community and to build relationships. Like, events are like the ultimate community builder from both ends of the spectrum. Wouldn't you say?
I think you're right.
Wouldn't you say, I'm Canadian, by the way.
Right. They are.
Yeah. So nice.
And it's just,
I am so nice.
I love that. I mean, I've said it before and I'm going to say it again, but when you really like the people that you're working with, you really are, it just like feels good to be with them, even if you're working until midnight and, have really long days and really long, event hours and kind of chaotic things happening. It's just the sense of camaraderie that I have found among so many people in the event community is just the best.
Can I ask you a question, Libby?
Okay.
If you have late nights, do you ever get up the next day and are you ever Libby cranky pants?
No, I've got that event adrenaline.
Yeah, she loves it.
I just keep going and going. I'm just like totally into it. And then once it's over, because I also don't sleep that great, during events, because I'm like kind of stressed, or not stressed necessarily. I'm like afraid I'm going to oversleep or like just thinking about all these things I want to do. And then afterwards, I do usually have a bit of an event hangover is what I started calling it many years ago. Where I would need to just like eat Cheez-Its. I needed a day to just like eat snacks, not be productive. Like, I do the bare minimum.
Are they the extra burnt Cheez-Its?
Extra toasty. So, extra toasty was my Cheez-It of choice for quite a while. But I kind of think they have changed the way that they make the original Cheez-Its now. Because let me tell you something. The Cheez-Its, the original Okay, this is where if I had a lollipop, I'd be waving it at the
She'd
camera.
be wielding it. She'd be wielding it right now like a weapon.
The Cheez-Its as of late in the regular boxes, I don't know for sure about the individual packs, but in the boxes that you buy in the store are like they're almost like bubbled. They're not super compact. For a couple years, the original Cheez-It cracker was very compact. I did not like that. These ones they're not like a crisp, not like a Ritz crisp or a Cheez-It crisp, but they're like, I don't know. They're almost like a little more buttery maybe. I don't know what it is. They've done something, I swear. I'm going to go into a Reddit rabbit hole. Even though I don't really understand Reddit, it's like the cloud. It's still taking me a really long time to figure it out. I don't fully understand how to navigate that thing, but I do think they've changed the recipe. So or the way they bake it. So my short answer is I'm on to the original Cheez-Its right now. but I do love an extra
not-
toasty.
That was not a short answer. Like nothing about that was a short answer. But okay, event hangovers, that's how you handle it with snacks.
Alysse,
Cheez-Its, candy, Diet Coke. Yeah.
I have to ask you the question too. In the morning, I mean, how were you at events? And then I've got to tag on another question because it just wouldn't be right if I didn't ask you, is what is your favorite event snack?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I want to hear that.
Pretty much whatever's in Libby's bag. Like,
see, we need like a little snack. Yeah, a snack compartment
she
on
packs
the
the snacks.
clipboard.
I don't have to worry about it because she packs the snacks and I just eat hers.
Yeah,
That
It
makes
works
sense.
every time. And she always knows that's going to happen. So she brings extra.
I always bring
She's a
extra.
giver like that.
Well, you
But
never know.
event
What if you're stuck
hangover-
on site and you have to like eat snacks for like 3 days or something?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You just don't know.
Yep.
Event hangovers. I think I'm with Libby. Like assuming there was no major catastrophes and that everything went mostly according to plan. Like I'm pretty energized. I'm pretty jazzed. I'm definitely combing social media, looking for what other people have posted or what they're saying. I really don't like it when I find complaints. I just want to put that out there.
I know.
But they happen
It
once
hurts
in a while.
us. It hurts us,
I'm
even
just
if
a
they're
sensitive
true.
flower. I'm a sensitive flower. But I've usually taken a lot of content. So I'm editing my content and trying to put something out. So I'm just trying to make the event, like the tailwind of the event keep going. But a couple days afterwards, when it's really, really, really over, I'm over it. I don't want to talk about it anymore. I'm on to the next.
Yeah, and I kind of need some time to like not talk to anybody, which is unfortunate for my family because they're like, "You've been gone for days. We're so excited to have you back." And I'm like,
You're like,
"No, I'm not back yet. Just pretend I'm still at the event."
What was your follow-up question?
The snack.
Oh, was it the
snack.
snack?
That was 2 questions.
Snack. Yep.
I jumped the line. Sorry.
So why don't we talk about the producer's perspective now?
Okay, give us a perspective.
I mean, I'm here. Why not? But I
Hit
think
us with
that
some spective.
perspective, I think that
That's
My
not gonna take
perspective-
off. That's not a new lingo.
it's not.
It is.
That's not it. That's not
perspective.
fetch. Is that fetch?
It's not.
Don't make up
it's not.
words.
No, it's not fetch. What I got out of it is sharing is caring. And you might be like, okay, we get it. You're Canadian. You're pretty nice. So that makes sense. But it actually doesn't make sense. But it does. Is that out of all the professionals that you spoke to, all of them were very willing to give out their tips, tricks, and strategies so that others could learn from what they did. And I think that is, there's so many people in this world. There's so many different events. There's so many different podcasts. And I find that the people that keep everything to themselves and keep all their information to themselves, they don't grow, right? Whereas the people that you two spoke to, and I think, you did a great job at, crafting the story and getting stuff out of them, but they were so willing to share everything they knew to help other people succeed. And they weren't shy about also saying that, hey, this is a really hard industry, right? Like I've went to trade shows before. I used to work trade shows all the time. But the people who were there setting up, like you guys at events are there for days before, like it's hard work. And they weren't afraid to state that, so that people who want to get into this industry knew that. But I just thought, man, how incredible. Like they're like, yeah, this is what we do to make the event better. Like if everybody listened to the show, they could probably improve, like take at least 1 or 2 things that would help improve their events.
Well, we could probably take all those tips and make a book because there were some. You're right; they were very generous in sharing their experience, and I think what you were right about the most was how good of interviewing that Libby and I did, and how good we were at pulling.
So good.
So good.
Yeah.
So good.
So
like
good.
people got real. People got real. And I think
They
that's
got
what's
really
lacking
real.
from our society right now.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I had to edit things, certainly, but we left a lot of real stuff in there that,
Better or for worse.
For better
I
or for
don't know.
worse.
Some I
Yep.
still get messages from my brother sometimes like, why did you say that?
I mean,
I'm like, what?
I still think of,
Thanks, JD. You're our biggest fan.
Thanks, Jay.
yeah, I do think still of parrots pooping.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but that is an iconic story. I'm going to
Classic.
tell parrots pooping in the
Forever.
Paramount forever. Who
Mm-hmm.
else throws a party where there's a Cadillac in the lobby and you do carpool karaoke with a parrot on your shoulder? Yeah, that happened. And it was sponsored.
See?
Like,
Look at that magic.
magic.
Speaking of sharing, we are going to be sharing the mic. Yes, Beats Working Winning the Game of Events is coming to a close this season, but very soon you will be meeting Beats Working Winning the Game of Work, hosted by Dan T. Rogers, expanding our conversations beyond events to leadership, careers, and the realities of navigating work today. And let's be real, we're going to need this, okay? New chapter, new voices. The show must go on. Okay, Alysse, I want to hear something that you are going to take with you from this season, or something you want listeners to take with them, and tell us where people can find you next.
Well, we had a lot of great guests, but one of my favorite interviews was the gentleman. Oh, you're going to have to remind me his name, but I'll tell the story and then you'll know exactly who it is.
Okay.
That was the tip about going into the bathroom and listening for what people are saying.
Yes, Keith Alpers.
Yes, Keith. Loved Keith. Libby's just better with names than I am.
It's true.
And
it's true. I'm the
you
name
just are.
person.
Like if I knew his face, I could tell you his face.
You would.
But
Keith Alper.
I thought
That's
that was such a clever tip. And now at events, even if I've not been working them, I've just been attending them. I'm definitely keeping my cocktail ear open in the bathroom to listen for what people say. Because you're right, they're talking about what's going down.
It's really true. That was a good tip.
Things and the bad things. And so I thought that was an amazing tip. But I just loved all the guests and I think you really touched on it, Tamar, their willingness to just so freely share their tips, because they've all worked really hard at their career, and a career in events is not an easy one, but it is fulfilling and it is fun, and you do learn a lot. And so that's just one of the tips that I'm going to take.
I love that. That was a really good one.
It was such a really good one. And people can find me. Well, I'm not too shy on the internet, so I can be found in lots of places. You can find me at AlysseBryson.com, and you can find me at thesobercurator.com.
Tamar, favorite moment, favorite lesson, and where can people find you?
Well, as a producer, I think that it has become very clear and apparent that podcast hosts, and I want to give you two a little shout out, that are willing to be vulnerable and that are willing to show the audience their personal side, you create more of a connection, right? That is something I've been working on, becoming a better podcast producer. And I think that is one of the things that you two have taught me, is you haven't been afraid to show that personal side, to show the vulnerability that a lot of hosts only scratch the surface, right? And I think as a podcaster, that's really important, right? Because you're trying to create connection. You want people to listen to the show. And so that's incredibly important. And both of you don't shy away from that. So I just really want to commend you two at not only helping your guests get there, but you help them get there because you are willing to do it yourselves. And that is my takeaway from this season, is helping other podcasters get there, like you gals do.
In other words,
we're
we're weird.
Where can people find you? Yeah, we are weird. Where can people find you, Tamar?
They can find me at podcastimpactstudio.com or Tamar at podcastimpactstudio.com. And my name does not have an A at the end. It's not Tamara or tomorrow. Just a
TAMAR. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
What about you?
I loved everything. I loved all the people. I wanted our interviews to just be all day long and to just repeat them, and just, there were so many things that we didn't get to ask or didn't get to talk about because there just isn't enough time, to hold someone hostage on the mic. But I really loved the scientific type tips that we got from different guests. So Lisa Schulteis and the party scientist, I just loved those, scientifically proven facts and data that, could really influence the way that you shape an event. So I thought those were great. And if you want to find me, Libby at workpdp.com, or I'm trying to think of where else I am, but I don't want to give you my home address. So that's it. My socials are private.
You know what? I'm also going to, I'm really going to miss listening to your crinkling rappers
I know.
in the microphone.
I'm just going to miss spending time with you guys.
Crinkle. You give good crinkle. I'm going to say, even though it was like really annoying at various times, you do give good crinkle. You do good sound effects.
Around the cook, we were a couple episodes in, and I was like, I think Alysse literally might kill me. And she's never looked at me like she wanted to kill me before, but this is a murderous stare. So it's a good thing
I think my internet just froze. I don't think it was that serious.
I know. I'm going to miss all my internet freezes.
I know. We got so many good screen grabs. So many good screen grabs.
You gave me job security for a while, Libby.
I know. Always.
You did. You really did.
A lot of editing.
Who gave me a mic? I don't know what they were thinking. That's a wrap for this final episode of Beats Working, Winning the Game of Events. This chapter may be closing, but remember, Beats Working isn't going anywhere. A new season, Winning the Game of Work, will be launching soon with fresh voices and new conversations about what it really takes to succeed at work today. Dear reader / listener, I had to record that 4 times because I could not say the word succeed. So it's probably for the best that this is coming to a close. If you've got an idea or you want to reach out, email us at info@beatsworking.show. We might not be the ones responding, but somebody else certainly will. And we want to hear from you. All right.
And remember, every detail matters. Every moment counts. And Libby, take us out, but do it in your mobster voice, please.
Yes. And no matter what, the show must go on.
Thanks for listening to Beats Working, Winning the Game of Events, where we explore what it takes to make moments unforgettable.
If you're leaving with a little more inspiration, a little more perspective, and a big side ache from all of the laughing at our funny jokes, then we've done our job.
Beats Working is a Work P2P production. If you've enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review us on your favorite podcast platforms.
Your support helps us keep the magic going.